How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I have some numbers that are absolutely nuts for Bitcoin and are very bullish. We also have Elon Musk commenting on how crazy these numbers, how strong the Bitcoin network is. I also want, towards the end of the video, to give you a crypto that I think will do really well, and it's a narrative that I don't see a lot of people talking about. They were a little while ago. Now I think the case is stronger than ever, and the crypto itself actually experienced a pullback. So, I talk about cryptos I think will do well. When they do well, some people wish that they could have gotten in on it, and they want to know the next one. Well, this one was one that did really well. I made a lot of money. Now it's pulled back. I'm still up, but again, I think the narrative is crazy good for the next bull run. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video. While you're down there, there's a link to Margex where you can trade cryptocurrency on leverage. There's no KYC. You don't need a VPN. You can sign up in just a few minutes. And I personally think it's one of the best trading platforms out there. I've been able to put on a couple trades over the last few days too that have done really well. There's also a sign up bonus when you use that link. We have been talking about a lot of cryptos that have done extremely well in HGAaccess. You can actually see here, we made a little bit of a winner's report talking about some of the cryptos that have done well. And this is part of what I want to get to later with a crypto that I think will do really well right now. But look, SAVM up 4,000% since it launched publicly. Myro up 1,000%. Fink went up 800%. WIF went up 171%. If you haven't already signed up for HGAaccess, there is a link underneath the video. Now, look at these Bitcoin numbers. This is one of the reasons I am so freaking bullish for the next couple of years. The supply of available Bitcoin on exchanges has decreased by 35% since March 2020. And look at this. This was the first halving cycle that we saw the supply actually go down. The amount of Bitcoin is going down, or the percentage of Bitcoin is going down, and we're going into a season where there's more and more demand than ever. Even though the price is falling a little bit over the last couple days, over the last week or something, there's less Bitcoin than ever, and we have more demand. We have demand picking up. We have a halving coming here soon. I would not be surprised to see the available Bitcoin even go down faster than it is right now, and I'll show you those numbers right here. Bitcoin holdings over time. GBTC has lost 53,000 Bitcoin over 6 trading days, about 8,800 Bitcoin per day. The new 9 ETFs have gained 79,000 Bitcoin per day over the last 6 days. So I think he actually means 79,000 Bitcoin overall over the last 6 days. So about 13,000 per day. Net, we have added about 4,200 Bitcoin per day. So when you think about that, 4,200 Bitcoin per day, let's say that's 20,000 per week. That times 52, that's 1 million Bitcoin. And that doesn't even account for the fact that there's not enough GBTC to sell every day for the next year. Like, they've already gone through 10% of their holdings, and these are probably like the weakest 10%. Of course, people are moving from GBTC to other holdings if they can without having some tax consequences. So I'm guessing the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks are going to be the worst for GBTC. Then it's going to be like a slow trickle from there on out. But these 9 ETFs are still growing even after GBTC being taken out of them. So the overall investments are still growing, which is huge. And as I've said, there's still a lot of people that are still getting comfortable with the idea of these ETFs, or maybe haven't even looked into it, but they're starting to look into it. They're going to start talking to their clients about it, but it takes a little bit of time. So yes, there's less Bitcoin than ever, and we just got these ETFs approved. So there's going to be a huge supply shock. We also know that there's just a lot of advertising. This is the CEO of Franklin Templeton. I've covered them a few times recently because they're so bullish on crypto. And Jenny Johnson says, one of the things that made me a believer as I went around the world talking to people, Bitcoin is considered almost an insurance or a safety, obviously against the US dollar or against some kind of banking collapse. People like the idea of Bitcoin, and even like Elon Musk has recently commented on how strong the network is. So this is coming from ARK Invest, someone at ARK Invest. Bitcoin's hash rate hit an all-time high, 500 exahashes this month. To highlight the enormity of this number, for every star in our galaxy, the Bitcoin network is calculating 5 billion computations per second. It would take 2,000 years for the entire global population, each performing 1 hash per second to match the Bitcoin network's hash rate. That's crazy. The Bitcoin network performs 67 times more hashes per second than there are grains of sand on Earth. 67 times per second. By number or raw operations per second, Bitcoin is 500x more performant than the world's most powerful supercomputer. Yet there are still skeptics out there that still believe Bitcoin is backed by nothing. You can see it just spiking recently from 400 up to 500 over a few months, maybe 4 or 5 months. A couple people comment on this, including Elon Musk, just saying, wow. Yeah, he is someone that appreciates good technology, appreciates computational power. And he said in the past that Tesla would resume allowing Bitcoin payments once Bitcoin's energy was demonstrably clean, which means 50% clean energy. And we know that is the case now. So I would not be surprised if he does turn back to Bitcoin, allowing Bitcoin to be accepted for transactions, or they buy a little bit more Bitcoin. I think no matter what, though, they're going to hold Bitcoin. He doesn't seem like he really wants to talk about Bitcoin all that much, which I get. That's not his main business. That's not any of his top 6 or 7 businesses. It's just something that they add to their balance sheet, which honestly is going to be how it is in the future. If a CEO buys Bitcoin, it's not going to be that big a deal. It's just going to be another thing that they add just to hedge themselves against collapse or against dollar devaluation. So I think that's quite interesting. Now, I want to get to a crypto that I think is going to do really well here in a moment, but I want to talk about BitDeer. Okay, so obviously I'm really big into crypto, and we talk about crypto companies and miners and stuff like that. But today we're talking about a Bitcoin miner that is now getting into other lines of business as well. BitDeer, which is a NASDAQ-listed company under the ticker BTDR, and they recently made an exciting partnership announcement. The company BitDeer is a world-leading technology company on the blockchain for high-performance computing. On November 9th, they announced that they are a preferred cloud service provider of the NVIDIA Partner Network, and they plan to launch BitDeer AI Cloud among the first services powered by NVIDIA DGX SuperPod with DGXH100 systems in the Asia region. We know AI obviously has been a huge industry recently. Many companies are trying to figure out how to use AI, large language models, and other AI workloads, which means there's a huge shortage of GPU computing. The partnership between NVIDIA and BitDeer provide BitDeer and NVIDIA's customers with access to NVIDIA AI supercomputing to help them accelerate their development of generative AI. BitDeer itself, if you haven't heard about them, is a NASDAQ-listed company under the ticker BTDR. Basically, they're a one-stop shop for everything Bitcoin mining, and now they're turning into the cloud as well. So now you can contract out mining compute through their cloud mining computing platform. So they have 21.2 exahash per second of Bitcoin mining compute right now, which positions themselves as one of the largest Bitcoin miners in the world. Now they're getting into the new cloud computing arena. The founder of BitDeer, Jihan Wu, was someone who industrialized Bitcoin mining after translating Bitcoin's white paper into Chinese from English. So I do think this is pretty interesting. Again, we usually see companies come into blockchain or crypto, but it's very rare that we see companies that are already starting in crypto try to branch out into other lines of business. Now, BitDeer is a partner of the channel. I'll leave some links to them underneath the video so you can read a little bit more and learn more about this partnership. So if you've been paying attention to Twitter or to YouTube recently, a lot of people are talking about Satoshi VM. This is something that I got in early on. I have taken some profits, but if you were a seed investor, you got 120x. That's great. Some people didn't realize it that when it came on Uniswap, but it did launch at like $1. So some of them are actually it launched below $1. People that bought on Uniswap are up about 4,000% if you got in right when it opened. So 40x, as I showed actually over here. We do have some members in our group for HGAaccess that were able to get in. Now, this was tough. This was tough, as I said in recent videos, because they didn't really communicate when I was going to launch, and then just launched. Now, other cryptos have done well recently as well, and I'll get to the crypto that I think could do well. It's not going to be like, oh, you have to get in right now. It's already a crypto that's launched that's going to take advantage of all this. So Manta has gone pretty insane. I mean, it doesn't look like it based on this chart, but This launched, if I remember right, at a $500 million fully diluted, and it's up to $2.2 billion. So it's already up like 4x, and this was a large launch just recently. It does have some big influencers. It's one that I was even approached about, but you can see that one did well. Inspect came and people were able to buy it at 0.012 cents, so it's up 20x from them. If you were able to get it just buying it on KuCoin or Bybit or Gate.io, maybe you got in at 16, 17 cents in the best case scenario. Myro, which is not even one of these early launches, but is just a crypto that is a meme coin with a lot of hype behind it, is up 800%. There's a lot of excitement in the market, and I think these three cryptos recently, Satoshi VM, Manta, Inspect, these are all huge launches. And it shows that there's going to be more launches like this. Like once a couple of these do really well, more people want in on them. So this is some extra alpha. I've been approached about probably 20 investments in the last week and a half. Like early stage investments. A month or two ago, maybe one a week. So there are a lot of cryptos that have been building or just have been spun up recently. Most have been building for a while and are now launching. Now, for the everyday average investor, maybe you can't get in on these pre-sale. But you can see that there's kind of a despise for some of this. Like people are getting pissed off that influencers are making a lot of money, or just people in general are getting these massive returns and they're not part of it. I can see that. When we're in a bull market, people get more pissed off. Now, I bring up all those successful launches not because I want to piss you off or say, oh, there are all these gains you need to get. You didn't get any of them. I'm bringing it up because you have to look at the market psychology. Okay, if enough people are pissed off that they didn't get gains in some of these, but they hear about people making 100x's, 40x's, 50x's, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to try to get in on them as well. Eventually, they're just going to want to get in. That's where I think Seedify is going to do extremely well. Now, Seedify has come down a little bit over the last month. You can see it's had a healthy pullback of 24%, which is nice because it actually went up from 50 cents to $4, and I think it went up to $4.50 actually at the very peak. Now it's come down a little bit, 30%, 35% from the peak. Healthy pullback after such a big move. I think this is a huge narrative. I showed you all those cryptos that are going nuts. Seedify allows people to get in early to projects. It's a launch pad. So when people see all of these influencers that got in early at launches, they want the same opportunity. So they go buy Seedify. And if you have Seedify tokens, you can get in on gaming launches. We know gaming is a huge narrative as well. They also have guaranteed refunds. Public Seedify IGOs have a guaranteed refund policy of 7 to 14 days to keep a healthy balance between community needs and project's compliance. So they have a list of all these upcoming projects and live projects that you can invest into. They tell you the token price. They tell you how much they want to raise. And this is a way for people to get in on some of those gains that they're hoping for or that they see from influencers. I think this makes a lot of sense. And as you buy more and more tokens, you can get better and better rewards, or you can get access to more and more through this launchpad. So I think the Seedify narrative is still so strong for the next bull run. I bought some here today. I bought some more because honestly, I think this is a huge opportunity. At $170 million market cap, it has come up a decent amount since it was 50 or 60 cents. But when you look at the market cap it was in the past, it was still much higher last bull run, about 2x what it is now. And the price was about 5x. Now, I looked more at market cap, but that was the last bull run. I think there's going to be even more money flowing in for this bull run. And some people just look at prices like they think, oh, it's only at $5. They don't look at market cap, the old market cap. So they think, okay, $5, I can get 3x, even if it hits previous all-time highs. So I think there will be a lot of people aping into this, especially when you consider like the market cap is half of its old market cap. And this isn't even the bull run. This isn't where people are aping into projects like these launches that I just showed, some of these really successful launches, Inspect, Manta, Satoshi VM. These all happened within the last couple weeks, or well, Satoshi and Manta were in the last week, and then we know Inspect was a few weeks ago. So I think this is just a huge narrative. If you want, you can go buy it. There are a couple different places to buy it. If you didn't know, you can always just go to the price of a crypto on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, scroll down to the bottom to see where to buy it. But I think PancakeSwap is probably the easiest place to buy it right now. Of course, always do your own due diligence. I'm not telling you to buy anything. I'm just telling you kind of what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking. Of course, if you want to join HGAaccess, there's a link underneath the video where you can also get some of this access to information. Like we talked about Satoshi VM before it launched. We talked about Myro before it 10x'd. We talked about Inspect. Actually, we hadn't even set up the group when Inspect launched, so I apologize about that. But I did mention Inspect when it was around 16, 17 cents, and then it's gone up about 50%. So if you want access to that group, you can check out underneath the video. Again, thank you to BitDeer. You can check out their links underneath the video as well, and I'll see you in the next video.